Entomology of the cadaver and postmortem interval. Occasion may arise during the course of forensic work when the study of insect or their larva infesting a dead body may be means of ascertaining possible time since death. Application of entomology was first reported by Bergeret, entomologist. The author emphasizes the need for assessing caution when making an estimate of the time since death. It must be assumed that eggs were deposited on the body or at nearing at the time of death. Further, it is also important to identify the species as the life cycle of a species varies. When the larva identified, it is possible to determine the minimum postmortem interval based on the larval age. If it is estimated that the maggots on the corpus are 4 days old, the deceased could not have died with a postmortem interval of less than 4 days. Although the body might have been dead for a long period than that. Since blowflies usually arrive at the corpus and lay eggs on it within an hour or two after death, unless the body is buried or placed in a sealed bag or concealed in another manner was to prevent access to the flies. Minimum time of death estimate may effectively by the actual time of death. Shortly after death, two winged flies such as houseflies, blue bottles, flesh flies, etc., attracted towards the dead body and lays egg, mostly in natural orifices and open wound. However, with the onset of decomposition, eggs can be deposited anywhere. Then egg hatch into larvae, maggot, with 8 to 24 hours. They secrete digestive liquid with a fluid with a proteolytic enzyme which help in devouring the tissue and hastening the process of disintegration of the body. Maggots become pupae in 4 to 5 days, developing through stages called instars. Pupae developing into flies in another 4 to 5 days. Flowchart is usually stayed in the ordinary summer season in the life cycle of a housefly, assisting in the estimation of approximate postmortem interval. It may be called that environmental condition is the most important factor governing the rate of the development of these stages. Minimum time of Next is forensic entomology may be considered as a science. The so-called jungle science or a voodoo science relating to the application of knowledge of insect during investigation of crimes or other legal matters. Use of entomology in death investigation may be traced to 13th century, wherein some particular suspect was traced among others from the attraction of adult blowfiles to the one-hand sickle amongst more than a half dozen hand sickles placed upon the ground by other suspects. The hand sickle, as alleged, had been used to kill a Chinese peasant farmer. It was carrying some bits of human tissue, red hair, and thus attracting numerous flies swimming around the murder weapon. The owner of the implement confessed to the commission of the crime. During 1930, the famous case from England, entomological evidence helped in proving that Dr. Ruston has ample opportunity time to kill his wife and housekeeper to return to his home within an allotted time frame. Factors, parameters helping to assess answer question at a death scene have been studied by numerous naturalists, biologists, and entomologists. Mezzinin identified 8 specific several waves of insect approaching the body, colonizing for a period of time, and then leaving. He observed that within such a sequence of insect moving on the body, feeling for the specific period of time during the progression of decomposition, and then leaving the body when the tissue had no longer remained attractive useful, it was possible to use them as indicators of time since nearly all studies reported in the literature carried under different temperature, varying habitat, diverse geographic location, different seasons of the year have been consistent in showing some particular time frame relating to the sequence of insect group and the species moving, colonizing, and then leaving the carry on decomposition site. Most cases, the flies usually colonize immediately upon death within second to minute. Therefore, one can conclude safely that the time calculated analyzed is established as minimum of time for remains to be died. Timing within plus to minus 12 hours in case of 8 to 15 days duration, 48 hours in which cases 20 to 25 days range have been reported. This science can also be used to identify areas of trauma on a bodily decomposed body where the decomposed remains prevented due to recognition of it. It has been demonstrated that for first several days of decomposition, skin is the major barrier to the early feeding maggot. In the absence of any trauma to the body, natural orifices and natural body opening provide the weak point for maggots to approach the body. Hence, preferred site for initial fly egg laying is the face, including eyes, nose, mouth, etc. It is due to the fact that gases are that being formed in the dead body purge from the orifices, and the compounds carried within these gases constitute an attraction for the blow flies. Pelvic area, due to its architecture and relatively safe location, is another area preferred for egg laying. Hence, if colonies of blowfly maggots are found in areas other than the face and pelvic area, it needs a careful observation of presence of some type of wound that open the skin and facilitate blowflies to invade the tissue. However, differing circumstances attending such each cases need to be taken care of. Further, in bodies that are badly decomposed to allow any successful toxicology analysis of the tissues, maggots may be used to determine the presence or absence of drug chemicals. It has been reported that maggots feeding on such a body tissue contain drugs, ingest this chemical and store the same in their fat bodies or in the outer chitin covering. Chitin is a protein-like substance that is carried in a molecular matrix and is considered to be ideal for trapping and locking chemical substances. Hence, actively maggots can be tested for each substance using drug testing technique. In one case, as reported in the literature, MD purpureal cases found with skeletal remains were tested and revealed cocaine in large quantity. The victim had been missing for years. It was suspected that she had died of cocaine poisoning. Collection, preservation, and dispatch of the specimen. As stressed above, the main concern of the doctor conducting the ecological postmortem is a careful collection, preservation, and dispatch of specimen to the forensic entomologist. Maggot, including different stages, mature, immature, and pupae, MD pupae cases, and eggs should be placed in separate tubes and placed directly in acetic alcohol. There are 3 parts, 70% alcohol, 1 part glacial acetic acid. If no preservation is available, killing of specimen may be done by putting them in hot water. Some live larvae should also be collected and placed in a tube with a fragment of meat or portion of muscles from the body, acting as a food for the maggot. Reviewed the literature and recommends larvae should be taken from different parts of the body and proper labeling done on tube recording the place and other things. The larva sampling makes it possible to interpret the population of maggots more confidently. If outdoors, a sample of the soil beneath the body along with various stages of maggot should be sent. Available fact about the environment in which a body was found should be recorded and sent to the entomologist. Recording of the temperature of the body with the help of an electronic thermometer with a thermocouple and ambient temperature at the scene must be accomplished and proper information dispatched, because temperature is the single most important factor governing the rate of development of maggot. If recording of the temperature has been omitted, local records from the nearest meteorological center may be called for. Thank you.